welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be doing a review on our first Jurassic World Chaos Theory figure, and that is the Guanlong and Lystrosaurus. Before we jump into this review, you can see I have my old filming location back, so, yeah. Say hello to the green screen again, so I guess that's going to be in the videos going forward. And, yeah, let's actually jump into this. So first, let's look at the packaging. We got Jurassic World Chaos Theory down there. Netflix, Jurassic World Chaos Theory logo up here. They're from the snow biome. Guanlong and Lystrosaurus down here at the bottom. Then we have the other figures on the back, which you can see, which for some reason they re-released this, but they did not release the Rajasuchus and the Dimorphodon for some reason, which kind of sucks because I actually really wanted to get the Rajasuchus, so I hope they'll release it in like the next wave or something. But yeah, that's interesting. I also hopefully will be uploading a toy hunt video with all these figures in here as well. But yeah. Now let's actually get these guys out of the packaging. Let me just get my scissors. Just cut the guanlong out, and then I think these are all we have holding in the Lystrosaurus. Just set these back. Okay. First we got the guanlong. And then we have the Lystrosaurus. Okay, that packaging is out of here. Now let's take a closer look at the actual figures. So here are our two figures. First, let's start with the Lystrosaurus. So first we have the head, which looks pretty nice. Then we have the body. Okay, but again, yeah, here's the body. Very nice. Short feet, there's kind of an indent here for the Jurassic World logo. Nice wrinkly skin texturing. Pretty nice. We also have a little bit more of a darker brown hue on the top than on the rest of the body. But yeah. Let's move on to articulation, which first the head can go up. And it can also go all the way down. It can actually go pretty far down, actually. And then it can also go side to side, because it is on a ball joint, which is pretty nice. And then also the legs go backwards and forwards. They are not on ball joints though, so yeah. The front legs are a little bit loose. Well, actually, this leg in particular is a little bit loose. But yeah, this figure actually released already in the Dominion lineup in a set with Maisie and Velociraptor Beta, but I never actually saw that set, so I was kind of disappointed I never got the Lystrosaurus. But then they re-released it in this set, so that's really nice. And then before I forget, let me get the scan code up, which. Here it is for anyone who does not have the scan code and wants it. But, yeah. I don't know if this is in the Jurassic Facts app, but I'll try to put it into the video if it is. Now let's move on to the other one, which is the Guanlong. Which originally, when they said they're going to be doing a Lystrosaurus and Guanlong set, I was very disappointed. Mainly because, like, you know, there's a whole entire scene where the, Lystrosaurus fights the Oviraptor, so I was hoping we'd get an Oviraptor, but no, we got a Guanlong. I was very disappointed, didn't think it was going to look too good, but then I saw the first official images for the Guanlong, and this is one of the best dinosaurs I think Mattel has released. It's probably also one of the most accurate as well, but let's take a closer look at this. So first, you can see the head sculpt, if I can get my camera to focus, which it doesn't want to focus for some reason. Why does it not want to focus? Okay, I'm going to have to back it up a little bit, but yeah, you can see the head sculpt, which has some pretty nice skin texturing and printed patterns on the head. Then we move down, it actually has a lot of feathering all over it, and a little bit of a white streak on the stomach, leading into the white legs. No paint on the claws, unfortunately. We have the tail, which is surprisingly flexible, actually. And, yeah, this is a really nice figure. It also has lips, just the mouth is a little bit, it doesn't really naturally sit closed. You do have to kind of push it if you want to show it completely closed, but it being a little bit open, it's not that bad. We also have the articulated arms, which move backwards and forwards, which pretty nice. And then the legs also move backwards and forwards. The jaw actually opens pretty nicely. And then the tail swivels, of course, which I'm trying to figure out how this tail goes. Okay, yeah, it does go like that. But yeah, let me get the scan code up for anyone who would like to scan this into the Jurassic Facts app. But, yeah. Seeing both these figures, they look pretty nice together. And, yeah. Now let me just, if I just scoot this over a little bit, we can move on to the size comparison. So first off, guanlong measures in at about 5 inches, which you can't really see on camera. But yeah, measures in at about 5 inches long and about 2.5 tall. While the Lystrosaurus measures in at about 4.5 inches long and about 2.25 inches tall. So they're not super big. Now let's actually compare these to some other figures, which there are actually a lot of small figures now that we can compare these to. So first, let's compare them to Beta, which, yeah, this was probably the first small figure that was ever released. And then they re-released it in a set with Lystrosaurus, so you can kind of recreate this set. The only thing that's really missing is Macy. So yeah, it's actually really similar in size to guanlong, I would say. And honestly, the guanlong is a bit better. The only thing I do have to say is that the arms do have, like, ball joints, which I don't know why. Beta's the only one that ever got ball joints on the arms, and she doesn't have it on the legs. Guanlong doesn't have ball joints anywhere, so yeah. So that's, first we have Beta, which we can put back here. But then we also have Stegosaurus, which is slightly smaller than Lystrosaurus. And then we also have Eoraptor, which is slightly smaller than Guanlong. Personally, these figures were nice, just they're a little bit clunky, and also the designs were not the best. They redeemed themselves a lot with these two newer ones. So we just have a whole bunch of small figures now. And honestly, I hope Mattel continues to do the size range, just because this is a really nice, since they're a little bit smaller than the regular smaller ones, but they're not like compy sized. So yeah, speaking of compies, here are the Compsognathuses, which were way smaller than these, and also these are really old, but yeah, Compy's really nice and very small compared to them. Next, let's compare it to the Giant Locust, which look very small compared to them. But yeah. And also, what does the fox say? Well, who knows? But yeah, I forgot Mattel kind of just released a fox, which is weird. We can get a fox, but we don't have a Smilodon. That's kind of sad, but yeah. The fox actually fits in really nice, and I don't know, maybe like the guanlong could try to hunt it or something. I feel like that works. Next, let's compare it to... So first off, for what I've had for a year now is this little Lystrosaurus figure, which was like my only Lystrosaurus figure for nearly a year now. And compared to this one, really nice. I actually prefer this over the big one at first because I never actually saw the bigger one in person. And I thought the big one was like inaccurately sized. But now I know this small size range is actually really small. And this is probably actually the perfect size range. So yeah. Next we have is Scutosaurus, which quite a bit bigger than Lystrosaurus. And then we also have the Dimetrodon, which again also really, really big compared to this. Now all we really need is like a Gorgonopsid of some sort. Maybe they could bring like Lycanops into the 93 Classic lineup, or Inostransarbia, but those would be nice. Next, for thing, we actually have two dinosaurs that are closely related to Guanlong, which Guanlong is in the family with Tyrannosaurus, but there are a certain, I think it's like the Proceratosaurus, where this guy is actually part of, and there are several figures from that family. So we are going to compare them all to Guanlong right now. So first we have the first Proceratosaurus that would released by Mattel, which is Proceratosaurus itself, or if you watch Cheese and Friends, known as Toby. But yeah, Proceratosaurus is quite a bit bigger, and you can see looks way worse than this Guanlong. They've come quite a way. Next we have probably one of, if not the most, probably the most recent epic evolution that's not like Chaos Theory themed, is the Calescus, which also looks really nice. I don't know what it is with Mattel giving these guys feathers, but I mean, it's actually accurate, so yeah. This is also another really nice figure that Mattel has released, and it dwarfs them. And now we move on to the largest one, which is Sinotyrannus, which, massive. Absolutely massive. Honestly, the only thing I ask of Mattel now is to make a Eutyrannus. Just please, Mattel, make a Eutyrannus. It belongs in the family tree, and since you've been giving feathers to all these other ones, why not make a Eutyrannus? A nice feathered Eutyrannus would be really cool. Well, yeah. And for things that are related to Lystrosaurus, I actually don't have much. And there's really nothing from Mattel that's related to Lystrosaurus, but I do have Lysowitia, which is another Dicynodont, which I made this one. And then I also have this little Placerius, which I cannot remember exactly if Placerius is a Dicynodont or just closely related to Dicynodonts, but here it is. It's actually smaller than the Lystrosaurus, but yeah, really cool. And last but not least, let's compare it to a human figure, which here is, let me just get it stand, but yeah, here's Owen, just to compare it to. And the guanlong actually kind of looks like it fits in really well, especially with this. And the Lystrosaurus also looks like it fits in really well. I think the Lystrosaurus is actually based off the larger species of Lystrosaurus, while I think we have the smaller species in the movie, but it still works. But yeah. But for my final thoughts on these figures is that they are probably some of the best. Honestly, these are my first Chaos Theory ones, and these are really nice. The only thing I do have to say is for the Chaos Theory display is that for some reason, they only had the all-out attack T-Rex there. And even these figures were not actually at the Jurassic World Chaos Theory display. They were just with the other Jurassic World figures. But, yeah, honestly, I think that's just really weird. And also that these came out, like, days after the all-out attack T-Rex instead of, you know, alongside it. But, yeah. Anyways, I would 100% recommend these. Like, I recommend getting 2 of these, in fact. But, yeah. 10 out of 10 figure, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.